Premier League game week 22 predictions. The time is absolutely flying. We're already halfway through January. Today is the 16th of January and there is some more big Premier League games to look forward to this weekend. We're already at game 22 of the season. I don't know where the time is going. But anyway, let's get straight into the predictions. First up, on Saturday at 12:30, we have Newcastle versus Bournemouth at St. James's Park. And this is a really tasty looking game to have first game of the game week. Bournemouth, who are unbeaten in their last 9, are 10 now at this stage in all competitions. Very unlucky not to beat Chelsea during the week. A 95th minute equaliser for Chelsea at Stamford Bridge via Reece James. Newcastle are absolutely flying. They are the number one team in form in the league the last number of weeks. Alexander Isak has scored in now 8 consecutive Premier League games. Newcastle are favourites here, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. Bournemouth are a really good side. They're really well drilled and organised under Andoni Iraola. And if anything, just like during the week, they seem to up their game for these bigger teams, these bigger games. And I think Newcastle's win streak comes to an end here, not with a loss. Newcastle 2, Bournemouth 2. Then at 3 o'clock, Brentford at home to Liverpool. This is a must-win. Obviously, most of you watching know I am a Liverpool fan, but this is a must-win. We've dropped points in our last 2 games. Unlucky during the week. It's no disgrace drawing away to Forest with the season they're having and the way they're playing, but Liverpool really should have won that game second half. Liverpool were all over Forest like a rash in the second half and played some really good football. But now after 2 consecutive games of dropping points, this is a must-win. Brentford are always tough away from home. Brentford are always tough playing at home when the opposition team is playing away from home. And look, that showed during the week. Obviously, they got a very deserved point against Manchester City. They are missing a lot of players at the moment. I think they're still missing 7 or 8. I fully expect a good Liverpool performance here. I expect a controlled Liverpool performance. And I expect not just 3 points, but a comfortable 3 points because Liverpool have to get back here. Brentford 1, Liverpool 3. Then we have Leicester at home to Fulham. Leicester coming off another disappointing defeat during the week at home to Crystal Palace. Fulham coming off a defeat to West Ham under new manager Graham Potter at the London Stadium. Now, this is a game where I think there's a clear favourite in. I just think Leicester week on week look more and more doomed. They looked okay for a couple of games under Ruud van Nistelrooy, but now I watch them and defensively they're really, really poor. They're disorganised. Going forward, they have no real outlet or goal scorer. Fulham are a good side, albeit lost, as I mentioned last time out. But West Ham are a good side when they're rightly coached, which I believe Graham Potter will do with them and has done already to some degree. I'm going to say here, Leicester lose again. Leicester 1, Fulham 3. Then we have the aforementioned London team, West Ham, playing host to Crystal Palace at the London Stadium. Big win for West Ham during the week, beating Fulham, who are a good side, absolutely no doubt. Big win for Graham Potter in his second game as manager. I fully expected him to do well on this job, and I think this bounce will continue in this game. Palace have been better the last while. They've definitely been more difficult to beat. They're finding more goals from their forwards, like Mateta. Eze is playing better. And other players like that. But I believe with the players West Ham have, it was only a matter of time before they got a right coach in and you will see a big improvement. I think that manager bounce continues for Graham Potter in this game. West Ham 2, Crystal Palace 0. Then we have the last game on Saturday at 5:30. Arsenal versus Aston Villa at the Emirates. This is a really, really good game to look forward to. This is a big game to look forward to. A huge game for both teams. Villa, granted, good win during the week away to Everton under new manager David Moyes. But Villa need to keep doing that. They've won now, I think, their last, 3 Premier League games? But Villa need to be picking up points like they have been the last week or two quickly because they need to play themselves back into that top 4 race. Arsenal, a deserved win over I think what was a terrible Spurs side again, or a terrible Spurs performance again in the London derby during the week. But a good performance from Arsenal, a very, very well-deserved win. I think we're looking at another draw here. Villa will turn up in this game. They won this game last season, and I believe that they're going to really put it up to Arsenal in this game. Another Ollie Watkins goal, I think, even though he's not having the best of seasons. Arsenal 2. Aston Villa 2. On to Sunday's games at 2 o'clock. We have Everton versus Spurs at Goodison Park. Everton losing during the week against Villa by a goal to nil at Goodison Park. Spurs not losing comfortably, let's put it that way, to Arsenal at the Emirates, but a game in which they probably deserve to lose a lot more. Well, not probably. They did deserve to lose a lot more than 4 or 5-1. Arsenal just didn't take many of their chances. And look, I think we're coming to the end of Ange at Spurs. I've said it for ages. I just don't think he's this level. I think he's out of his depth. He's too one-dimensional. He can't structure or organise a defence, and I genuinely think we're going to see a much better Everton under David Moyes. Obviously, they lost, as I mentioned, during the week, but that's no disgrace in losing to what is a good Villa side. I think Everton win this. I'm going to say Everton 1, Spurs 0. Also at 2 o'clock, we have Manchester United playing host to Brighton at Old Trafford. Now, this is being recorded just before United versus Southampton. So, look, I expect United to win that game. And I'm sure that, well, I'm not sure, but I think they will. Brighton, been up and down the last number of weeks. But I think their last few performances have been a bit better. Brighton are, again, a side, I think, as I mentioned, like Bournemouth earlier on in the video. They seem to up their game when they played the bigger teams in these bigger games. And I expect them to do that. Brighton have a good record at Old Trafford the last few years, and I fully expect them to get something from this game. I'm going to say Manchester United 1, Brighton 2. And lastly, at 2 o'clock, we have Nottingham Forest versus Southampton. I don't think we need to take too much time on this game. Southampton are doomed. They're definitely going down. I mean, there's absolutely no question about it. At this point, I think they're playing really for pride from here to the rest of the season. Forest were lucky to get a point against Liverpool during the week. They were good first half. They certainly defended very, very well throughout the game. Matt Sells was excellent and Murillo was absolutely excellent as well. But look, this should be a pretty standard win for Forest, and I expect it to be exactly that. I'm going to say Forest 3, Southampton 0. Then the last game on Sunday, we have Ipswich at home to Manchester City. Could we see a shock here? Because let's be real, I said it in my last predictions video. I knew City weren't back. Brentford should have beaten City during the week. They had enough chances to do so. They had a better XG. And then you were fearing the worst when obviously City went 1 and 2-0 up. But Brentford still came back. This City side are just not the same. There's too many issues there. There's too many problems. Ipswich have been better the last few weeks, have picked up a couple of good wins. Again, this is being recorded before, obviously, Ipswich and Brighton tonight, so we'll see how they get on tonight. But I actually think Ipswich will get something here. I'm going to say Ipswich 2, City 2. And then finally, on Monday, we have at 8 o'clock, Chelsea versus Wolves at Stamford Bridge. Wolves, after a couple of good results under new manager Vitor Pereira, they have had a couple of poor ones to follow it. Obviously, look, playing the informed team in the league at the moment away during the week. Newcastle losing 3-0. It's no disgrace, but it's still a little bit of a smashing as well. And look, Wolves are right down there. They need to be picking up points soon. They have the players certainly to take them out of this. And I think they will take them out of it. I don't think Wolves will go down, but you know, the more kind of results like that pile on and keep them down there, and the more nervous and the more kind of confidence the team will lack in their own ability to take themselves out of this. Chelsea have been very up and down. Chelsea have been poor the last few weeks. Very, very lucky to get a point at home to Bournemouth during the week. A game Bournemouth had won, but Reece James of all people, popped up in the 95th minute. And look, this is, I think, a tough game to call. I'm thinking Chelsea, but I'm also thinking I could see Wolves get something from this game. Chelsea are there to be got at the moment, and it was crazy people were talking about them being potential title contenders with the defence they have and obviously the goalkeeper. I'm going to say Chelsea edge this. Chelsea 2, Wolves 1. Anyway, that is my Premier League predictions for game week 22. Let me know your predictions. I absolutely love to hear them in the comments below. Do you agree with mine or do you disagree with mine? Are Liverpool going to win this weekend? Are Arsenal going to beat Aston Villa? Are United going to pull off what would be a shock win, I think, against Brighton? Tell me in the comments. Anyway, thank you very much for watching the video. Like the video if you have enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, please. And thank you if you haven't already and you want to see more. And I will see you in the next one.